Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR, HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR, HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
Hi, and welcome. This is Maureen St Germain, and welcome to the Practical Mystic, talk radio to help you make every day a day of heaven on earth. Using the information we provide, you'll learn practical living tools to make a meaningful life joyful and fun. I'm Maureen St Germain, mystic, mom, and author. I'm a teacher of advanced spiritual techniques and ascension work. You'll come away with empowered information and be transformed. Since 1994, I've traveled and taught meditation, sacred geometry, and manifestation. My numerous published works, books, CDs, DVDs are bestsellers on Amazon and in bookstores. Today, we're here to honor your heart. It's a very special show this week where we're going to feature Madeline C. Gerwick, an internationally recognized and certified astrologer who specializes in business, economic, and personal astrology. She has a BA degree with honors in economics, many years of industrial sales and marketing, and she's listed in several Who's Who's books, including Who's Who's in the World, Who's Who in America. Her unique combination of credentials makes her an in-demand speaker regarding economic conditions and business trends. She consults with individuals and businesses of all sizes to guide them to higher levels of prosperity by working in harmony with the universe. I will tell you, as a businesswoman myself, I have been using Madeline for 10 years, and if you've been following me, you know who I'm talking about when I refer to Madeline Gerwick or her company, Polaris Business Guides, or her fabulous book called The Good Timing Guide. Welcome, Madeline.
Oh, thank you. I am delighted to be here.
So those of you who don't know what good timing is, let me tell you my version, and she can tell you hers. My version is the fact that there was a study done of a random group of businesses that failed by the Wall Street Journal, and every one of them were started during a time period known as what Madeline calls a timeout. And if you know the timing and you can choose it, you can stay ahead of the curve. Like a good GPS, you don't have to stand in line when the bridge is out. So, Madeline, what's your version of good timing?
Yes, actually, that was reported by the Wall Street Journal, but it was that study was done by a group of astrologers, and yes, 100% of those businesses that had gone bankrupt all started during timeout periods, and timeout periods actually occur 3 times per week. And they can last anywhere from a few minutes to 2 days, or I have even seen one last 2.5 days. But fortunately, those are rare. So they're what appeared to be random from our perspective, and they change every week. And so that's why having some type of an astrological calendar is a valuable tool for anyone in business or anyone who makes important decisions.
Now, the term timeout is your jargon for something that they use in the astrology world.
Yes.
Called moon void of course.
Yes.
It's very difficult to remember.
Yes. Well, and what does a moon void of course suggest to anybody but Greek? I mean, it's nothing that suggests anything to anyone. But people recognize a timeout is a time when you can't score because the ball isn't in play. So it makes sense to people when you tell them it's a timeout versus a moon void, of course, which they have no concept what that could possibly mean.
So those of you who are listening, if you're listening with us live, you can call in. Our call-in number is 1-800-555-5453. We're going to proceed with our topic, but if you have an important burning question that you need to ask Madeline or me, if you're going to ask Madeline, be prepared to give your astrology information, and then we'll kind of give Madeline a few minutes to do a little legwork, and then she'll answer your question. Again, that number is 888-555-5453. Now, both Madeline and I have freebies for you today, so listen in. We will give you that information on how to pick your freebies up after our second segment. And Madeline is giving away her book that I buy 5 copies of every year. And the reason I buy 5 copies is because I want to have one on my desk in New York, I want one on my desk in Seattle, and I want all the people who work closely for me to have one too, so that when I say don't send anything during a timeout, no one will read it. They can look and see for themselves. They don't need me to mind them.
Yeah, and isn't that handy?
Oh, it's amazing. I even buy the electronic version because I like to have it on my laptop ahead of time to do planning. And I will tell you, one of the things that I have used the Good Timing Guide for, and Madeline's work for the year, and to plan long range what's going to happen when. And when I know we're coming up on certain kinds of energies, then I anticipate how I can use that to best help my business. And I'll give you some examples. Madeline, why don't you tell us a couple?
Well, when we have Mars retrograde, for example, and that is kind of a long period, it lasts for 10 or 11 weeks, that's the time to do strategic planning for your business and actually for your personal life as well. So if you know that's coming up, you can plan that ahead of time. If you know Mercury retrograde is coming up, that lasts about 3.5 weeks, and they happen 3 times a year. You can figure out when to catch up and not plan so much on your schedule so that you can catch up. And
Mercury retrograde, just a minute here. Mercury retrograde, lots of people have heard of. And just to refresh your memory, Mercury is the planet of travel, communications, and equipment. So one time Madeline wrote, getting your equipment repaired during a Mercury retrograde is favored, but you don't want to wait till the Mercury retrograde because it's going to break. If you know your equipment's ailing, get it fixed beforehand because the repair people are also going to be slammed.
Right. Yep.
And then we have Venus retrograde, which we're in right now.
Yes, we're in Venus retrograde right now. This is actually perfect for taking a vacation, you see, because this time Venus is in the sign of Leo. And Venus rules things like love, money, fun, joy, all that kind of stuff, and your desires. And when she's in Leo, which is the sign of the heart and love and self-expression, creativity, children. And, of course, children like to play. That's how they learn, is by playing. And unfortunately, we kind of forget that we learn by playing, too. So a lot of times when we play, we'll get some of our best ideas for our work because we've played, and while we were playing, we noticed something, or we find something important that reminds us and links us back to something that we're trying to learn or discover again. And so Venus retrograde is actually perfect for taking a vacation and getting out of your rut.
And I like the fact that you said it's time to do something new and different.
Yes, and that is actually related to a different cycle. The sun is trine to Uranus right now. So this is actually a time that is perfect for doing something completely new, completely different. And so even if you only went for 2 days, someplace you've never been, this period is fabulous for getting out and doing something completely new and different. And so it's actually the perfect time for a vacation. And that's
okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm going to go do something completely new and different, which I actually am.
Yes.
What does a person expect? I mean, we say it's conducive to that, but does that mean I'm going to have the best time ever, or what?
Yes, actually it is. It's perfect for having a best time ever because it's an easy flowing cycle. Sun trine Uranus is a great time to do something just completely different, do something radically different even. Could even be go to a foreign country, which of course I mentioned since Maureen is headed to a foreign country.
Yeah.
But it's perfect perfect for even going someplace where it's close by in your state, but you've never been there.
Aha.
You know, it's just a fun time, and usually people are itching to do something different. They don't even feel like going to work and showing up and doing the regular routine because they're itching to do something different, you see.
So if you're itching to do something different or learn something different, call us, 1-800-555-5453, and ask your question. So, you know, let's say I want to have a Venus retrograde consult, which you're currently offering.
Yes.
What kinds of questions would I be asking you about?
Okay, the Venus retrograde consultation is designed to be a quick 30-minute consultation about money or relationships, or both. Sometimes they're tied together. You know, if you're financially dependent on a relationship that is falling apart, then we would have to talk about both of them. And it might take us longer than half an hour to get through both of it. But usually, when Venus is retrograde, remember ABC used to have the upfront and personal for the Olympics? This is the upfront and personal of relationships and money.
Very cool. So learning more about that would give you the opportunity to make better decisions?
Yes, you could make better choices of how to go about it. Typically, the actual link between relationships and money is yourself, and the link between them is how much you value yourself. So
wow.
So the way in which you value yourself and the amount that you value yourself determines what type of relationships you will attract to you and how much money you will allow yourself to bring to you, whether you earn it by a job or just attract it in other ways, whether you win it or inherit it or make it with trading or something of that nature.
So I'd like to dive in a little deeper. Let's say we've got someone listening after the radio show has been live, and they really would have liked to have asked that question. So they're involved in a relationship where one person is contributing a greater amount. There's no jealousy or issues. The other person's happily doing it. But the first person isn't comfortable with that because they've got their own ego or something. And so the relationship's suffering not because of the money, but because of the money.
Yes, there's a certain belief there that the person who has less money is not as valuable as...
Right, they're not carrying their weight or something.
Well, perhaps they're not carrying their weight or financially, or perhaps the person feels less valued. The one who has the less money may feel less.
Cool. And so that helps us begin to understand what's possible, because once you learn that, then you might be able to solve it in a way that's very proactive.
Yes.
And any quick suggestion before we take our first caller?
Well, you mean for how to solve that particular issue that you just mentioned?
Right, that we brought up. Yeah, we're not going to leave people hanging here.
Well, some of that is what I would call work in progress for the person who may feel less valued because of he or she makes less money. So there's a certain amount of internal work that has to occur, and some of that could just be to release. We usually recommend emotional freedom and healing releases to release negative beliefs,
or
patterns,
talk or whatever.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
All right, so we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's take our first caller.
Hello.
Tell us your name.
It's Elena.
Diana, you have a question for
E-L-E-N-A-L-N. I'm sorry?
You have a question for Madeline?
Yes, I have a question. I'm in a relationship.
Speak up a little bit.
Can you
Speak
hear
up
me?
a little.
Yes, sorry. I'm in Texas, and here for some reason sometimes reception is really bad. So I'm in a relationship, and it's been 5 years since we've been together, and we're trying to get to this place where we want to move in together, but there's financial problems that prevent us. So any suggestions that you can give me?
Okay. I would actually need to look at your chart to tell you financial suggestions. But one suggestion I can give you, if you're in a location, might be to go to a Millionaire Mind experience. They take 3 days to do, and I can give you a free ticket to a Millionaire Mind experience. They have them all over the country. If you go to peakpotentials.com and sign up for the one that's closest to you when it occurs, that might help you to get through. There's a lot of different beliefs associated with money. And unfortunately, most of us have been trained to believe that we either don't deserve it or can't have it, or you have to work really hard to get it, or there's a myriad of beliefs about money and about people who are rich and the filthy rich that prevent us from getting money.
So, Diane, do you say that you want to move in together, but there's money issues. Does that mean that one of you is currently getting free rent, like living at home?
Yeah, we don't live together, and the reason why is because he has his job here in the United States, in a different state, and he doesn't really make that much money to even contribute into our living together. It's that bad, the situation with him. He has so many bills, and he has to take care of his other siblings. So it's basically I have to provide everything. So the house, the cars, everything is on me. And sometimes I get frustrated because of that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's a pretty rough situation.
Yeah. So.
Because you basically kind of almost have a freeloader in a sense.
Yes, exactly. But he's not. His personality is not like that. He's just in a situation where he cannot make more. He works in the hospital, but he can only make so much money, and he has to pay a lot of his bills and child support and things like that.
Number one, there's no such thing as someone can only make so much money.
That's right.
Right away, there's a limiting belief there.
Right.
No, that's what he says, that I can only make so much, I cannot jump over my head.
Well, he has to work on his belief system then. And, as long as you believe, as long as anyone believes, I can only make so much money, you have been controlled by the system. A lot of the things that we have in America today were a direct result of Henry Ford and this whole desire to get people to believe that they would fit into a particular spot, or they would fit into the assembly line in some way, and they would recognize that that's where they belong, that that's where they fit, and that's the best they could do. And it's a belief system that's simply not true. So he needs to work on his belief system, and maybe he would like to read a book called Be a Genie, and that's all about manifestation. He might want to do what we call emotional freedom technique. And I will tell you that I have a very personal experience where someone in my family did an EFNH session, and within 48 hours, the money situation turned around dramatically. So these are tools that you can get a hold of, and be sure to send me an email, and I will send you some tools that you can pass along to your sweetheart to help him get started, and these will be a gift. So send us your email and let us know you called in.
Okay.
And if you send me an email, I'll give you the code so you can sign up for a free Millionaire Mind weekend.
So those of you who are listening, and thank you, Diane, so much for calling in. Those of you who are listening and thinking about calling in, pull out your birth date and the city you were born in. If you start with that before you tell us what's going on, Madeline's got her computer fired up and ready to go. That's right. Pretty quick information. Really, really good for you. So our number is 1-800-555-5453. We're going to be taking a break in just a moment. Stay tuned. You're listening to Maureen St Germain, the Practical Mystic, with guest speaker and astrologer Madeline Gerwick. Stay with us.
Essential oils have been used since ancient times, but there has never been a formulation as amazing and original as Maureen St Germain's Aro Mandalas, a line of essential oils that combine 3 spiritual and healing traditions. No matter what negative emotional issue you may be dealing with, there is an Aro Mandalas essential oil that can help you grow and reach a positive emotional response. So clear out those unwanted emotions and feel empowered with Aro Mandalas essential oils. Visit MaureenStGermain.com and click on Essential Oil Blends. That's MaureenStGermain.com.
Shh! Over here. Here's a secret for a virus-free computer. ESET. They've been a pioneer in the antivirus industry for over 25 years. 25 years of innovative, top-rated antivirus protection. ESET's award-winning security solutions provide a safe online experience for over 100 million home and business computer owners. They are so affordable, fast, and simple to use. So be gone, you blue screen of death. ESET's on my computer. If it's not on yours, visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on ESET now.
So, you want to change your life? Well, I have a great, easy, and stress-free way on how to do that. Get a guided meditation with Maureen St. Germain. Powerful guided meditations on CDs. Or you can download an MP3 to your computer or tablet. There's so many to choose from, and once you get one, they are so reasonably priced and work so well. You'll probably want them all, and why not? Visit MaureenStGermain.com and click on Books and Media. Do it now. MaureenStGermain.com. Books and Media. And help change your life now.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.
Attention, Practical Mystic listeners. Here's a deal you won't want to refuse. If you've ever wanted a chance to get a free Akashic reading with Maureen St. Germain, then here's all you have to do to increase your chance for a totally free reading. Email Maureen. Tell her your problem, and if your story is used on the Practical Mystic show, then you'll win a 30-minute Akashic reading with Maureen St. Germain. How easy is that? And the email address is easy to remember, too. radio@MaureenStGermain.com. Email her now and get a chance at that free reading. radio@MaureenStGermain.com.
HealthyLife.net, the positive radio network.
Hi, we're back. This is Maureen St. Germain, and my special guest today is Madeline Gerwick, astrologer, good timing expert, master of the universe. It's kind of a fun phrase. One of the reasons why we use timing, and I've used timing to start numerous businesses and numerous projects, from selling my house to when I would move, where I would move. The funniest story we ever had, Madeline and I did, was years and years ago when I called her and said, look, I'm planning on moving to New York. And Madeline, bless her heart, said, oh, that's a terrible idea. You know how expensive New York is? Your food's going to be more expensive. You're going to eat out all the time. You know, the rent's going to be higher, blah, blah, blah. On she went. And after she got all done with her little rant, I said, but what about timing? What about, astrology and finding out if it would be a better location for me? Well, we could do that. And so I hired her to do the timing. And it was so funny because she came back. She said, okay, so you were right. It's much better for you.
Yep, that's right. It was better for you in New York. That's right.
So our number is 1-800-555-5453. And I would like to invite you to call us and ask Madeline your questions. Be prepared, if you can, to give her your birth date and time and location where you were born. And she will be able to give you some really good, solid, useful advice. So while we're waiting for our next caller and while we talk about these subjects, I'd like to invite you also to consider getting an Akashic Records reading from me or from one of the guides in our Akashic Records Guides organization. These readings can be transformational in that they invite you to make a cosmic leap in consciousness, understanding, to learn options, reconfirm your hunches, and give you information that supports your best self. Also, we have essential oil blends called Aro Mandalas for every kind of emotional wound. You can check them out at the Aro Mandalas website, Aro Mandalas, AROMANDALAS.com. Now, for this particular show, we wanted to give you lots of information about astrology and why people use timing. So tell the famous story about J.P. Morgan or any other famous businessman.
Okay, certainly, yes. J.P. Morgan used astrology and he had an astrologer who gave him dates and times. So we're talking custom dates and times when he should invest in make certain investments. And of course, he became a billionaire using astrology, doing that. And of course, Walt Disney is another famous person who used astrological timing for signing his contracts, opening his theme parks, introducing movies, all those kinds of things. And of course, he was quite successful doing that. So astrology has actually been used for timing important activities for centuries, but particularly it's been used in Asia, where that culture is much more open to it and more accustomed to it. And so you probably noticed way back in the 70s when the Japanese made huge inroads into our auto market. Of course, they're using timing. They very, very quickly sort of grabbed a large market share away from the big three back then. And they had the advantage of astrological timing to help them. So in Asia, for example, a person would be considered insane if they didn't go to an astrologer to get a good time to start a company or to get married or have surgery or to do something important of that nature. They would just be considered nuts because over there they're familiar with the concept that a disaster, the word disaster means against the stars, and the word consider means with the stars. So they're familiar with understanding energy.
Very cool. All right, so we have another caller. Tell us your name, please.
Hi, it's Jaya.
Jaya?
Yes.
And do you have your astrology timing?
Pardon?
Do you have your astrology, your birth date?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay. Okay, so tell me your date when you were born.
Okay, it's May 15, 1971.
1971. May 15, 1971. What time were you born? Do you know?
3:43 p.m.
3:43 p.m. Perfect. And what location?
In San Francisco, California.
San Francisco, yes. Okay. All right. So I have a chart for you now, and what's your question?
Yeah, go ahead.
My question is about the timing right now. I work as a freelancer, and right now I'm kind of having this feeling to not look for another position at the moment because I got some kind of feeling that it might be a good time to work on a new project, a new creative project. So I guess my question is more, is this a good time for me to start on this brand new project, something I've never done before, or is it my ego just telling me that, it's not a good time and I just look for another job right now? Because I could use the work, but I don't know.
So if you pick up another project, could you be more clear about your question?
Yeah, should I start the new project, or should I take the time to work on this new project, which won't be paid right now, or should I look for work?
So you're a freelancer, and you have an opportunity to work on a project that sounds interesting to you but has no resources.
Yes, because it's my own project. It's like a book project.
Very good.
Yeah.
Do you understand the question?
Yes, I do. And what kind of project is it?
It's a book that I'm thinking about writing.
Okay. So, and do you have enough resources to basically finish that book, or at least get a pretty good start on it before you would go back?
Well, I mean, it's not ideal, but I do have a partner, so he's willing to help me for the next few weeks. Yeah, I mean, it's more like I feel personally not comfortable about it.
Exactly.
Because I want to make,
I'm
used to making my own.
Yeah. A loving partner who wants to help you get your business started, and I want to do it, but I'm not sure I should, and, oh, by the way, now I'm going to owe you if you help me, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, right. Kind of like that.
Kind of like that.
So what does your astrology say, Madeline?
Well, Venus retrograde for her right now is showing that she is reconsidering her goals. How interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, and for your career right now, I can only look at 1 out of 5 sets of cycles while we're on the air. So I'm just looking kind of quickly here to see if there's something that shows a situation here where you would be, say, taking a break from work or perhaps pursuing writing a book. Now, how long do you think it would take you to write that book?
I really don't know. I mean, and I'm not planning on, it's not about taking like 6 months off or anything, but I just kind of feel like it's the summer and I just, I feel like it's a good time to maybe just focus for a few weeks and get it started, at least get a few things down, and then if I need to go back to work and finish later, I can do that.
I think that would be a good plan. That looks like a good plan. Yeah. Yeah,
the universe is supporting you.
Yes. Yeah, it actually looks like a good time for you to be doing something like that. And you've got some support. Uranus is trining your south node up in the 11th house, sextiling your north node, which is your destiny point, which is down in your creative area of your chart. So I think this is actually a good time for you to do this.
Oh, okay.
That's exciting. That's really exciting. Yeah. So go for it. Jaya, this is your time to shine and give yourself permission to have the magic come forward that's been on your plate and in the back of your mind. It gets to go front and center. Good on you.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
So those of you who are listening, we invite you to give us a call. Our number is 1-800-555-5453. We are live with Madeline Gerwick and Maureen St Germain. You are listening to the Practical Mystic Talk Radio to help you make every day a day of heaven on earth. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly, and at the beginning of the next segment, we will give you those links to our gifts where you can get a free book from Madeline, the book that I spend $25 per book to get. And you'll have to pay shipping, but you'll get a free book, which is spectacular. Learn that whole thing from her, and we'll be talking about that next. Stay tuned.
So, you want to change your life? Well, I have a great, easy, and stress-free way on how to do that. Get a guided meditation with Maureen St Germain. Powerful guided meditations on CDs. Or you can download an MP3 to your computer or tablet. There's so many to choose from, and once you get one, they are so reasonably priced and work so well. You'll probably want them all, and why not? Visit MaureenStGermain.com and click on Books and Media. Do it now. MaureenStGermain.com. Books and Media. And help change your life now.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap steak. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
The loving, healing energy of the Akashic Records is a profound tool for self-exploration and empowerment, and these records include every thought, word, and deed of your life throughout time. With so much information, you will probably need a guide to help you access and interpret it. That's where Maureen St Germain's trained and certified Akashic Record guides can help. Discover what you really need to know with an Akashic Record guide reading. For more information, visit AkashicRecordsGuides.org. or visit MaureenStGermain.com and click Akashic Readings. Essential oils have been used since ancient times, but there has never been a formulation as amazing and original as Maureen St Germain's Aro Mandalas, a line of essential oils that combine 3 spiritual and healing traditions. No matter what negative emotional issue you may be dealing with, there is an Aro Mandalas essential oil that can help you grow and reach a positive emotional response. So clear out those unwanted emotions and feel empowered with Aro Mandalas essential oils. Visit MaureenStGermain.com and click on Essential Oil Blends. That's MaureenStGermain.com.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.
Hi, this is Maureen St Germain, and we are in the middle of a Venus retrograde, and you are listening to the Practical Mystic Talk Radio to help make every day a day of heaven on earth. While we were on break, we promised that we would give you, right before the break actually, we promised we would give you our links, but we want to give you one more piece of information before we do that. So, Madeline, what is the one thing or 2 things that you know a person shouldn't do during a Venus retrograde?
Yeah, there's actually several. I probably wouldn't recommend getting married, actually, but but actually a number of people reconnect with old lovers or old relationships of, old friends or whatever. During Venus retrograde, people they haven't seen in a long time. But
okay, and what else?
It's usually not a great time to introduce a product because people don't value your product the same way that you do. So it's better to wait until Venus goes direct before you introduce your products.
And when does that occur this year?
Well, of course, we're having Venus retrograde now through September 6th. So you would be better to wait on that.
And if you got a really big project, you should probably hire Madeline to give you a good timing for your part.
Yes, that's actually correct. Anytime there's a potential for a big amount of money to be made, it's better to get a custom timing because every day, no matter how good it is, has bad financial times. And so because we have our revolutionary energies going on and they're always somewhere in a chart, and so you don't really want them in your financial department. You don't want them disrupting your finances. So,
and what about anything else? You said there was more than 1 or 2 things you shouldn't do during a Venus retrograde.
Yes, this is not an ideal time to sign a contract, for example, or to start a new company, because if you start a new company now, chances are the funding won't be quite as good as it should be. Now, if you were to start it late in August, or possibly right at the very beginning of September, you might not have that problem because Venus is going to have some pretty good aspects. But in general, Venus retrograde would not be a time to start a company.
Okay, now we promised we would give people a link to a page where they can get their free bonuses.
Yes.
So let's start with you.
Okay. The free bonus is at PolarisBusinessGuides.com. Polaris is Polaris. Business is spelled regular, Business. Guides, Guides.com. And once you're there, if you just click on the link that says radio, there's a little drop-down box, and you can click on the link that says, thank you for listening. And once you're on that page, it'll give you specific instructions for how to get your free 2015 Good Timing Guide. And we'll mail you this book. It has time zones in it for both Pacific and Eastern time. If you're in Central time, you just take 1 hour off of the Eastern time, and if you're, or you add 1 hour to Eastern. No, you take 1 hour off. And then if you're in Mountain, you just take 1 hour different from the Pacific.
Now, before we get into the details of what this book is all about, I'm going to give you my link for my freebie, and then we're going to come back to you, Madeline, and talk about what is the good timing and why should they have one.
Okay.
So my freebie is found at MaureenSt.Germain.com/Practical Mystic. And we have a free download for you, and we are excited to share this information with you. You'll get the Fountain of Youth, and you'll also can get a link to Madeline's page. It'll take you to her link as well. So the Fountain of Youth is a very important a meditation to have, because in the fall there is what's called the Universal Youthing Day, and it's the full moon that the ancient Africans thought reached around backwards to the point where you could reverse time. And it's been traditionally used as a day that turns back the clock. And we use the Fountain of Youth meditation all the time to make us feel ageless and to bring on the youthfulness, but it's a wonderful tool to have on a special day like that. So, Madeline.
Yes.
What will people find in the Good Timing Guide? Why is it so useful? I mean, I'll jump in and add my 2 cents because I have been using it for over 10 years.
Well, first of all, it'll tell you that when you start any new project, actually, it'll tell you whether the results will be good, disappointing, nothing, or if it will fall out before it ever reaches anything.
Now, the fallout is that orange code. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, one time I was trying to really drill down into this, and I asked Madeline to give me an example of what the orange timing is all about. And she said it's like going to a party, seeing the person you need to see on the other side of the room. You work your way across the room, you look up, and that person's at the door. They wave, and they're out the door, and the whole time you thought you were going to connect with them, and you don't.
And you don't connect, no.
So the part about orange that's so interesting to me is that the whole time you think it's going to work, even though if you knew the timing, you would know it wouldn't work.
Yes, that's correct.
I actually look at the orange as being worse than the timeout, because I feel like it gives you a sense of false hope.
It's true. It does give you that. Exactly, yes.
So one of the things I use the timing guide for is I look at the moon phases to help me understand what's good about the moon phases and how to use them. So there's 4 quarters to a moon that we look at, and I'd like you to describe what they can be used for. And, and this is good information just to have in your head. So, bring it on, Madeline.
Okay, so the first moon phase is the new moon. Now, we're going to have a new moon this Friday on the 14th, and it's actually an excellent new moon. So there's lots of opportunities for this particular new moon on August 14th for unexpected money to get started, unexpected love to show up, unexpected fun. I mean, it's a really fabulous new moon. But in general, from new moon to full moon is when you would like to start things, because you would like the moon to be increasing in light. That is when things are easier for you to increase or grow them. And
so we're talking August 14th.
For the new moon, it starts, that's the new moon. Yeah. And there's a first quarter moon. Now, that's what we call crisis in action. This is usually when your projects have some kind of a crisis. It's not the time to give up on your project. It's the time to shore them up. And so you have, it kind of feels like you're in fireman mode on first quarter moon days, because, all of a sudden there's some crazy thing happening that you have to take care of immediately. And then, and then the full moon is when things come to light. You see the full picture at the full moon. A lot of decisions are made at the full moon.
So before you go further, I want to point out that when she says things coming to light, what we're really talking about is the truth comes out. The unknown information that has been hidden from you comes out because the moon is shining its light on you.
Yes, and oftentimes it may not necessarily be truth that was hidden from you, but you may not have uncovered it in some way.
Or you might not have understood it.
Or you might not have understood it. If you're in business, for example, maybe you're talking to a salesperson about a potential item that you're going to purchase, and all of a sudden you realize, oh, this product does have what I'm looking for, but I didn't realize that. because the other guy said that made me think it didn't. So it can be something fairly simple, but basically you get all the information you need to make the decision.
So when we come back, we're going to talk about last quarter moon, and we're going to also talk about the pivotal set of experiences that made Madeline leave the corporate world and become a professional astrologer. Stay tuned. This is Maureen St. Germain, and you are listening to The Practical Mystic.
Attention, Practical Mystic listeners. Here's a deal you won't want to refuse. If you've ever wanted a chance to get a free Akashic reading with Maureen St. Germain, then here's all you have to do to increase your chance for a totally free reading. Email Maureen. Tell her your problem, and if your story is used on the Practical Mystic Show, then you'll win a 30-minute Akashic reading with Maureen St. Germain. How easy is that? And the email address is easy to remember, too. radio@MaureenStGermain.com. Email her now and get a chance at that free reading. radio@MaureenStGermain.com.
For all your live or pre-recorded webcasting needs, come to earthchannel.com. Get your web-based message out to a select group or the whole world. It's easy. A pioneer in webcasting, earthchannel.com provides the best products and services to big corporations and government users. And now, this same technology is available to you. They have the best Earthcast encoders, servers, and products to meet your technical needs. But wait, don't want to mess with technical stress? No problem. They'll do it for you. EarthChannel.com is your answer. You can use webcasting for lots of things like advertising, marketing, customer support, training, and don't forget web radio and TV. In fact, you're listening to a live Earthcast right now. So come to EarthChannel.com. Actualize your audio or video webcasting needs today. You can't beat the friendly service or the price. Call earthchannel.com at 1-800-849-8978. That's 1-800-849-8978.
So, you want to change your life? Well, I have a great, easy, and stress-free way on how to do that. Get a guided meditation with Maureen St. Germain. Powerful guided meditations on CDs. Or you can download an MP3 to your computer or tablet. There's so many to choose from, and once you get one, they are so reasonably priced and work so well. You'll probably want them all. And why not? Visit MaureenStGermain.com and click on Books and Media. Do it now. MaureenStGermain.com. Books and Media. And help change your life now. Essential oils have been used since ancient times, but there has never been a formulation as amazing and original as Maureen St. Germain's Aro Mandalas, a line of essential oils that combine 3 spiritual and healing traditions. No matter what negative emotional issue you may be dealing with, there is an Aro Mandalas essential oil that can help you grow and reach a positive emotional response. So clear out those unwanted emotions and feel empowered with Aro Mandalas essential oils. Visit MaureenStGermain.com and click on Essential Oil Blends. That's MaureenStGermain.com.
HealthyLife.net, where positive overcomes negative.
Hi, and welcome back. This is Maureen St. Germain, and I want to remind you that you can still call in. Our phone number is 1-800-555-5453. If you have your astrology information, be sure to give it to us right away. Now, we were talking with Madeline Gerwick. This is Maureen St. Germain, and we're talking with Madeline Gerwick, astrologer and good timing author. She writes this book every single year, and you can get a copy for next year by purchasing it, or you can get the current year's copy for free. And we'll ask Madeline, go ahead and give us that link for that.
Okay, it's Polaris, P-O-L-A-R-I-S, Business Guides. Business is spelled regular, B-U-S-I-N-E-S-S, Guides, G-U-I-D-E-S.com. And when you get there, click on the link for radio, and then you'll have a drop-down button and click on Thank You for Listening. When you get to the Thank You for Listening page, there's instructions for how to get your free good timing guide. You do still have to pay shipping, but the guide itself is free, and it's a great book.
And how much is the shipping?
I think it's $6.
Okay, so you guys out there, you cannot get a better deal anywhere because you'll be able to use this for for the rest of the year and begin to learn and understand how it works and how it can be useful to you. So we have one more phase of the moon to go, and then we're going to talk to Madeline about how she decided to become an astrologer, having worked in the corporate world in sales. So last quarter moon.
The last quarter moon is when we have what we call a crisis in consciousness. So this is the breakdown phase, and we're actually in third quarter moon at the moment. And essentially, during this phase of the moon, the structures are not yet in place for new starts. So it's not a good time to do new starts. It's actually challenging to do new starts. But this phase of the moon is useful for understanding what worked well in the past month, what you want to keep doing and what you want to let go of. And it's also a great time to plant seeds that you want to get started in the next, after the next new moon. And one thing I forgot to mention about the new moon is it's better to wait if possible. Doesn't always happen, but if possible, it's nice to wait until you can see the moon in the sky before you start something new.
And actually, that's how they decide Ramadan.
Yes.
They wait till they see the first sliver of the moon.
Right.
And then the signal is given, and Ramadan is over.
Right.
And so when we talk about the phases of the moon, everybody knows what a full moon means, but a new moon means it's completely black or dark.
Right, it's dark.
Not visible.
Yeah.
And the other two phases are it's either going big or it's going lesser.
Right. And it's about half. It's about halfway at those. Yeah.
So we promised our listeners we would tell them why you made the leap from the corporate world, which probably had a steady paycheck, to doing astrology full time.
Well, there's a number of different reasons for that. But I actually, and you reminded me that, of course, I was actually watching cycles while I was at my last corporate position. And so I was realizing that everything I was watching on a daily basis was occurring overhead in the sky. And I realized I had studied astrology for quite some time and passed my exam. And I happened to go to the, I think it was one of the last Raider movies with Sean Connery as the father, and they were looking for the Holy Grail, and he he gets to the part where his father is injured, and he has to get the Holy Grail in order to save him. And he goes through all these trials. He aces all of them because he knows the right answers for everything, and then he gets to the abyss, and he has to cross the abyss in order to get to the chalice. And he remembers the leap of faith and the picture of the guy walking across on a rainbow. So he has to take this leap of faith, and he steps out into the abyss, and the bridge appears under his feet. So that night, I dreamed that scene at least 50 times. And I knew I had to take the leap of faith and become the astrologer, which I did shortly after that. But it was not an unexpected jump because I had been studying it for quite some time, about 14 years before I actually... Astrology is quite complex. It's not. It's kind of like getting your degree in medicine. It's actually a very complex topic.
But you know, it's always a shock because we're all in delusion when we have a corporate job and we think we have a steady income. We think we're secure. We delude ourselves into believing that it's secure, but we know plenty of people who lose their jobs every day for no particular reason. Right. Changes, reorganization, layoffs, whatever. And so the idea of becoming self-employed is a big one and a big deal. And by the way, when I first started out my business, and then I met Madeline, and about 4 years later I decided to hire her, and I incorporated my business at that point, and it really gave me a jump start. So we're out of time. Those of you who have played with us today, we're so grateful. We love having your questions. We love having you participate. Feel free to go out to our special pages that are being offered to give you freebies. This is Maureen St Germain with Madeline Gerwick, astrologer and good timing author, bringing you the Practical Mystic with Maureen St Germain. Until we meet in the heavens, I'm wishing you a million blessings this day and claiming a day of heaven on earth for you and everyone you meet. Thanks for listening.
The loving, healing energy of the Akashic Records is a profound tool for self-exploration and empowerment, and these records include every thought, word, and deed of your life throughout time. With so much information, you will probably need a guide to help you access and interpret it. That's where Maureen St Germain's trained and certified Akashic Record guides can help. Discover what you really need to know with an Akashic Record guide reading. For more information, visit AkashicRecordsGuides.org. or visit MaureenStGermain.com and click Akashic Readings.
Okay, so you have a couple of days off, and you're planning to get away from stress. You may be planning to go across the world, or even taking a staycation around town. Well, Hotels.com can get you a room in over 158,000 hotels, 60 countries, for 50% off. That's reducing stress already. Plus, collect 10 nights, and you'll get 1 night free. And there's no cancellation charges, no change fees. For the best deals, even last-minute deals, visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on Hotels.com.
Essential oils have been used since ancient times, but there has never been a formulation as amazing and original as Maureen St Germain's Aro Mandalas, a line of essential oils that combine 3 spiritual and healing traditions. No matter what negative emotional issue you may be dealing with, there is an Aro Mandalas essential oil that can help you grow and reach a positive emotional response. So clear out those unwanted emotions and feel empowered with Aro Mandalas essential oils. Visit MaureenStGermain.com and click on Essential Oil Blends. That's MaureenStGermain.com.
Where positive people and radio unite. HealthyLife.net.